Hey everyone, today in this video, I'm going to be checking out the ECOVACS. This is the DEEBOT X2 Omni. I did receive the sample from ECOVACS, but any opinion expressed in this video is strictly my own. That being said, if you're interested in this product or you want to find out more about it, the link to it will be in the video description. How does the X2 stack up against the competition? We'll be comparing it not only within ECOVACS' own lineup, but we'll also be comparing this with the over 40 plus robot vacuum cleaners that we've personally tested and reviewed. So, first up, the key metric we're looking at is max suction power. This has one of the highest PA ratings we've ever seen. Now, we're taking the brand's word for it here. We have no way of measuring that ourselves, but really impressive. 8,000 PA suction, 3,000 PA more than the ECOVACS average, and 4,000 PA more than the overall typical average RoboVac. Next, in regards to CFM, we got a score of 12.1. Overall average for ECOVACS is 9.7, and we almost double just the average CFM score of 7.1 for your typical RoboVac. So do those metrics actually translate to the real world with our deep cleaning score? So for this test, we embed coffee grounds into carpet and we vacuum them up with the RoboVac and we measure the results before and after. So we got a score of 85. The best possible score is 100. Compared to the brand average from ECOVACS, we're 5 points less. They typically average right around 90. Our overall generic vacuum average across, all different models and brands is 85. So we're right at the average. Next, we have battery life. This is measured in minutes. The X2 has a 212-minute battery life. The brand average is 225. So we're really close to the typical ECOVACS experience. And compared to the competition, we're still substantially greater in regards to battery life by over 60 minutes. Next, let's talk about height. This is measured in inches. The X2 comes in at 3.7 inches tall, a little bit smaller than your typical ECOVACS RoboVac because this doesn't have your LiDAR navigation. Compared to the overall average, we're right at 3.6, so just 0.1 inches taller. And that average does include a mix of vacuums with and without LiDAR navigation modules. Next, let's talk about bin capacity. This is measured in milliliters. So the dust bin on this vacuum is 420 milliliters. That's higher than ECOVACS average of 385. We're right at the overall vacuum average, which skews higher because this result includes a lot of vacuums that do and don't have self-empty. So as you increase in your feature set, typically you start to see smaller dust bins because the vacuum is self-emptying. Now let's talk about water tank capacity, also measured in milliliters. We have a 180 milliliter internal water tank on this vacuum. That's below the average of 350 within ECOVACS lineup, but there's some trade-offs here. It just really depends if it's a portable water tank or if it self-empties and refills and does all of that stuff. So in this case, usually when you find a vacuum that also refills its water tanks, they tend to be a little bit smaller. Not a big deal because again, they just go right back home and refill as needed. Compared to the overall average, we're below that as well. The overall average is 260. Next, let's talk about a new premium feature. This is your mop lift height. So with certain models like the X2, they're able to lift their mop pads up and out of the way when they're encountering carpets and rugs. So this is measured in millimeters. The higher the number, the better here. And we got the best score I've ever seen for the X2 coming in at 15 millimeters. ECOVACS average is only 8.5, so almost doubling the average from ECOVACS lineup. And compared to all units tested, same thing, coming in at 8.8 millimeters, we've almost doubled the lift height here. And last but not least, let's talk about the cost of this vacuum. This is going to be the top of the line premium flagship model from ECOVACS. So as expected, it's going to cost a pretty penny. This is going to be a couple $100 more than their brand average, as you would expect, because again, this is their top of the line model, and you'll see it's about double the price of your typical RoboVac.